Warning. The language used on The Real Rush may be offensive to some viewers. Don't say I didn't fucking warn you.
Let me talk some shit real quick. You can close all the movie theaters, but you cannot stop the real rush. This ain't no clip show. We ain't replaying no old shit here. This is the new shit. Stand up and bitch. Bang your head to the opening riff.
Shut up and sit down.
What's happening, y'all? It is your boy J-Dub, and welcome to episode 78 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. And thank you for joining us here, as everything else might be closed, but The Real Rush is still rolling on, ladies and gents. Your boy is an improv artist, as I've stated many times throughout many episodes of Real Rush, and as I've stated at the end of many episodes of The Real Rush. So, your boy is doing what the whole world is trying to do at this time, but doing what he does best. One of the things he does best, and that's improvise. Given the current conditions with the coronavirus and everything, with the movie theaters closing temporarily, fingers crossed, miss y'all. We had to make some changes here. But before we get down to the changes that we made, let's go down to the movie theater thing. Yes, all movie theaters in the state of Virginia, pretty much in the DC metropolitan area, and pretty much nationwide are closed due to this damn outbreak. So, with much sadness, I do have to report that our fucking awesome streak, 165 Thursdays, hence weeks in a row at the box office, came to an end this past Thursday, as this past Thursday was the first Thursday that your boy was not in attendance at a movie theater since Thursday, January 12th, 2017. That means that before all this shit went down, the last Thursday that your boy was not at a movie theater, Obama was still president, y'all. Yep. That was a minute. That's a long damn time. I don't want to say that's never going to happen again, but man, what a hell of a run. And the challenge is laid out. If anybody wants to go for 165 weeks in a row, no, Thursdays in a row at the theater, and that includes 626 movies seen in between, but you know, you pick your battles. You are more than welcome to take that challenge. Just know how long that shit took. That shit lasted from January 19th, 2017 until a week and a half ago. That's a long goddamn time. To my theater peeps, I miss y'all. We gonna get through this. And to everybody watching this right now, better days are coming ahead. Things happen for a reason. Let us take this moment in time, you know, just chill out for a minute. Let things cool down. Slowly and surely things will get back to normal. But once again, to my theater peeps, to my people up at Hoyt's, yeah, I still call it shit Hoyt's, Regal Manassas, Regal Gateway, Virginia Gateway, AMC Potomac Mills, the Airbus, Angelica, Cinema Arts, any other theater that I may have visited in the area, Cinemark, Centerville, Cinemark, Fairfax Corner, all the theaters of Regal, Springfield, all the theaters that I have visited in these last 3 years, just know, your boy's with y'all, miss y'all. It's been an honor meeting and befriending y'all over the last 3 years. and being able to come out to the theater on a weekly basis and seeing some familiar, friendly faces to be able to chat with and shoot the shit with, I'll miss that. But know that we will meet again. Much sooner than later, once again. Fingers crossed, y'all. So, how exactly is the Rush improvising during these times, as some people have reached out and asked? Well, I'm glad you asked, because as of this past Thursday, and a streak does still live on from this past Thursday. We'll get to that after we get to the brass tacks of what is on this week's episode Real Rush Ticket. But as of this past Thursday, your boy, the owner and proprietor of the Real Rush here, hereby decreed that until further notice, all movies, less those that we have already reviewed on the Real Rush here on YouTube thus far. Now remember, we didn't start reviewing movies on YouTube about a year and a half after we started the Real Rush, so there's still about 300 movies before we came to YouTube that are still left unreviewed, but that encompasses it in the all movies category. All movies are fair game. All movies. Even if I've seen them before, all movies are fair game, because your boy's got a lot to school you on. And as of this past Thursday, we're still keeping things rolling, because there's a shit ton of DVDs and Blu-rays that I still have in the shrink wrap that I haven't watched yet. So they're new to me. And we still gonna review them right here for y'all. So let's go ahead and get on down to the brass tacks of what is on the ticket for episode 7 to 8. As we foray into, I guess you could say, uncharted territories. Even though majority of these movies I've probably seen before, that doesn't mean that y'all have seen them before. And from what I've been hearing over the last couple days, since everybody's on lockdown at home and whatnot, y'all looking for shit to watch. And quite honestly, everybody who's been Netflixing and chilling it up these past couple years, and y'all done run through the gamut of what's already on your Netflix queue and shit, you need new shit to watch. You need new shit to stream. And that's where your boy here on the Real Rush got you covered. So let's get on ahead and get on down to the brass tacks of what is on this week's episode 78 Real Rush Ticket. And I want to kick things off with the Safdie brothers' last film before Uncut Gems. I'm bringing this one up because so many people have seen Uncut Gems since it dropped in theaters back in December. And now that it's available on streaming, I'm hearing of a lot more people seeing it, and I'm hearing a lot of mixed reactions about it. I'm hearing they either loved it, Adam Sandler deserved an Oscar, or that he at least deserved a Best Actor nomination, or I'm hearing that they didn't. I'm not hearing anybody necessarily disliked it, but a lot of people are saying that the way that the movie's filmed, the style of Uncut Gems, was a bit too much for them. It's a bit too busy, maybe a bit too much for their senses to handle. And that is why, to kick off the ticket for episode 78, we gonna talk about Good Time. We gonna have to pop that poster up on the Rushtron too, because I know that y'all cannot see this quite well. Good Time. 2017. Robert Pattinson stars as Connie Nikas, who, after a bank robbery gone wrong that he pulled off with his mentally handicapped brother, played by Benny Safdie, one of the directors of this joint, and his brother ends up in jail. This man goes on a one-night, just fucked up, frenetic, adrenaline-fueled extravaganza throughout the city to get his brother out of jail. But the way that he does it is not all on the up and up. Connie Nikas is one manipulative son of a bitch, and it shows right here in Good Time. Like I stated, we have Robert Pattinson, Benny Safdie, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Barkhad Abdi from Captain Phillips shows up in it. You know, Barkhad, look at me. Look at me. I'm your captain now. That motherfucker right there. Yeah, he's in it, man. And like I said, this is directed by Josh and Benny Safdie, the Safdie brothers. And to give you a little bit of a sense, well, actually, let's talk about this movie itself. This is the movie right here that got me hooked on the Safdie brothers to begin with. I have yet to see Heaven Knows What or Lenny Cook, but they are obviously instantly on my list. And after having seen Uncut Gems and fallen in love with more of their shit, then Heaven and Lenny Cook are definitely higher up on the list. But let's get back to Good Time right here. If you thought Uncut Gems was on some frenetic, just busy shit, well, that movie was about 2 hours and 15 minutes. This joint here has a running time of 1 hour and 40 minutes. But it takes you on a thrill ride right from the beginning all the way up until the ending credits start to roll, and then into the ending credits. As I stated about Uncut Gems, this does have some feelings about the right and wrong ways to handle family issues, so to speak. You know, what one would do for their loved ones, whether or not it's on the up and up or not. Robert Pattinson having one of the roles of his career. This is a completely different Robert Pattinson than you are getting from Twilight. And a lot of people have stated, even since Twilight came out, I've talked to people who have never seen another Robert Pattinson movie, and hadn't even seen Twilight to begin with, but just because they had heard that he played some type of sparkly vampire in a movie that wasn't even a real vampire movie. It was geared more towards like the teen romance genre. They're all like, well, all he knows is how to play an angsty vampire. I'm not gonna go see any of Robert Pattinson shit. Well, you are selling yourselves short, y'all. Because this is Robert Pattinson like you've never seen him before. And every single role that I've seen him in since, namely think of The Lifehouse, the man can change up his shit like it's a brand new pair of socks. They just got wet. Need to, make sure there ain't no mold getting on his toe jam or whatnot. Yet I digress. This movie right here, same, and I know I keep comparing it to Uncut Gems, y'all, but I'm trying to give y'all a sense of the style of why Uncut Gems was so busy for y'all. This movie also scored by One-O-Trix Point Never, aka Daniel Lopatin. And he even stated that the score that he made for Good Time, he wanted the music to be just as fucked up, and the fucked upness of the music to match the fucked upness of what's going on screen. And if you put all that together, let's just say, when your boy saw this in the theater back in 2017, he did see it with the right kind of eyes. But I don't think that we needed to see it with the right kind of eyes at that time, because this movie right here is a trip all its own, and it will throw you for so many loops that by the time that the ending credits do roll, the slap silly and knock naked from the waist down is what this movie is gonna do to you. I've been recommending this movie ever since it came out, and a bunch of people have still said it. I've never heard a Good Time. Well, now you heard of it. And if you've seen Uncut Gems and you want to know more about the Safdie brothers style, peep Good Time, y'all. It's chaotic as hell. Once again, Robert Pattinson, just a ruthless, dirty son of a bitch in this movie. I love the cinematography in this shit. The Safdie brothers have a way with their, I'm noticing some styles with directors now that I'm starting to give things second viewings and stuff, and in between like the last movie that they come out with, they have certain traditions, they have certain styles, such as the overhead driving shots. I haven't seen overhead driving shots pulled off as well as the Safdies have done it in the recent efforts. Good Time. Stream it, Blu-ray it, whatever you gotta do. Streaming means everything's available everywhere, but I highly recommend this joint. Check it the fuck out and you will not be disappointed. Hell, if you haven't seen Uncut Gems yet, this would make a perfect double feature. Double feature it up, get back at your boy, enjoy yourselves. Good time. Awesome shit, y'all. But be ready for some intense shit. It's not for the faint of heart. Same as Uncut Gems. Not for the faint of heart. Be ready for a film style that you haven't seen brought to your screens before. And I think that's what threw a lot of people who watched Uncut Gems for a loop. They're just not used to that kind of film style. Use this as an opportunity to test the waters one more time. Get you a little sip. Build up that frenetic immunity, and you'll be alright from there. Good time. Check it the hell out, y'all. Next up on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, we're keeping things rolling with the 2017 tip. And I didn't even realize that until I curated this episode's ticket. And the next movie that I want to talk about here on this episode is a movie that is very near and dear to your boy's heart. This joint is called Brigsby Bear. And Brigsby Bear follows a man. What's his name? James. Follows a man, James, who has grown up watching the show, and only the show, Brigsby Bear, which is a child TV series. Old school, looks like it's made back in the 80s and shit. You know, just got that VHS wavy tracking quality and shit. He loves this show so much that into his adult life, he sits there, analyzes it, puts it out on his blog for all to see. Sound familiar? But, so he's a big fan of the show. But when Brigsby Bear unexpectedly gets canceled, well, the show ain't gonna stop for old James, and he sets out on his own adventure to finish the story where it left off once and for all. And to also introduce Brigsby Bear to a whole new audience who had never heard of it before. Once again, does this sound familiar? We have a stellar star lineup in this movie, y'all. Now I'm gonna read it off the bat because you know me. Trying to draw names off the top of my head ain't always my best suit. But we have in this movie, we have Kyle Mooney, Claire Danes, Mark Hamill, Greg Kinnear, Matt Walsh, Michaela Watkins, Ryan Simpkins. What's up, girl? Whole bunch of people up in this joint. This is a Lord Miller production in association with The Lonely Island, and yes, Andy Samberg making a cameo up in this joint. Hands down. And I stated it back in 2017, and after a second viewing here just the other evening, I still have to agree with my younger self. This still remains one of the best movies of 2017. It's such a lighthearted dramedy. It's got its comedic aspect, it's got its dramatic aspects, but so well blended together. Let me get to my notes here. I wanted to talk about this movie because since we're in a time where people are having to adapt and, as I stated at the beginning of this episode, for lack of a better term, improvise, this movie deals with creativity and imagination. But not just creativity and imagination overall, but creativity and imagination as it comes to that for adults who seem to, let me put it this way. This movie does a really good job of making sure that your inner child stays alive. Remember the imagination and the creativity that we all had growing up, and that we like to color outside the lines every once in a while. This movie brings all that flooding back. Dealing with acceptance, understanding what's different when following one's dreams, or understanding like who's different, you know what I'm saying? You never know like what others will like until you put it out there. Once again, this is a movie that a lot of people haven't heard of. Offbeat, but I wouldn't miss it for a second. Same as the first time viewing. It made me cry a second time. I think it's still gonna make me cry for many, many years to come. I can't stress this enough.
This movie made the top 10 list of The Real Rush's best top 10 movies of 2K17, and it remains one of those movies, ladies and gents. Check out Brigsby Bear whatever medium you can find it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. And let it serve as inspiration and get those creative juices running during this time, because more than ever right now, we need creativity and imagination. Wake up your inner child. Check out Brigsby Bear, y'all. Coming up next on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, of course, with everything going down here, I didn't want to touch any type of movie about containment or any type of outbreak or anything like that, but because of what's going on here and people are still making those kind of, playlists, so to speak, of what movies they want to watch, well, that brings us to the next movie on our ticket. And I didn't want to go with Outbreak or Contagion because y'all made that shit too obvious. So once again, we gonna go with something a little bit lesser known. And this joint is called It Comes at Night. Now, It Comes at Night follows 17-year-old Travis, played by Kelvin Harrison Jr., who lives with his parents, isolated in the woods. His parents, played by Joel Edgerton and Carmen Ejogo. They're isolated in the woods after some mysterious sickness, virus, whatever, outbreak. We don't know what is done to most of the population. We do know that once you become infected with it, lights out. So they're trying to survive out in the woods by themselves. However, with the arrival of another family who seemingly needs some help, this could threaten their solidarity, their isolation, even their well-being and protection from the forces of what is going on the outside. Y'all want to look for something to watch during these times of lockdown and what's the word called, quarantining and shit? It Comes at Night, y'all. Once again, we got Joel Edgerton, Carmen Ejogo, Christopher Abbott, Kelvin Harrison Jr. I've been saying for years, keep that boy's name on your radar. We got Riley Keough up in it. And this is directed by Trey Edward Schultz, who also just directed Waves, which just came out this past winter. Also starring Kelvin Harrison Jr. And once again, if you are looking for something to scare the shit out of you during these times of containment, this movie does a spectacular job of doing that. It does a great job of keeping certain things a mystery to you while keeping a lot of things just straight up in your face. Same as Good Time, this isn't your average type of movie. This is a different type of horror movie. Is it an acquired taste? I would say so. This was also on the fence for a lot of people when it first came out. A lot of people said it's one of the greatest horror movies they had seen in a minute. The other half said they didn't quite get it. Once again, that's because we were at the beginning of a new wave in the horror genre of cinema. And this movie right here proves it hands down, y'all. I almost didn't want to watch this again because it's too fucking real to what could potentially happen if this shit what's going on right now potentially gets out of hand. But because y'all looking for shit like this, your boy watched it again. And alright, your boy watched this in a dark ass theater up at the Angelica when it came out, 2017. Second viewing this past week, your boy watched it right here on the Rush Tron, all the lights on, here in the Rush Vault. And maybe it's because of what's going on in the world right now, but it was even more fucking fearing, for lack of a better term, now than when I saw it the first time. Your boy does not get scared at movies that easily. So for a movie that I've already seen to freak me out even more than the first time that I saw it, I have no other course of action but to say, hands down, this should be at the top of your damn Outbreak playlist right here. Everybody's already seen Outbreak. Everybody's already seen Contagion. Well, at least according to my news feed, that's what's going on. What's going on. But I hadn't heard too much about It Comes at Night. So now you've heard about it. Check it the hell out and enjoy whatever your sense of enjoyment is during these times. But it might even prepare you for some shit if things potentially do get worse. We're gonna knock on the wood here. So yeah, It Comes at Night. Check that shit the hell out, y'all. Last but most certainly not least on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, we getting down to what is keeping a rush streak alive. So, a rush streak of going to the theater 165 Thursdays in a row to see a new movie every Thursday. That did unfortunately come to an end. However, as I stated, there's plenty of movies that your boy has not seen yet. So, now every Thursday, we're still going to keep the new movie thing rolling, which means that as of this past Thursday, a rush streak still lives. That means 166 Thursdays in a row with a new movie viewed first time by these eyes. And what was the pick this past Thursday? I picked the Blu-ray that had been sitting on my shelf in a shrink wrap for the longest time. It was actually a 2017 movie, but your boy didn't get to see it when it came out at that time. And I am talking about The Lost City of Z, or Zed, as pronounced in the film, and possibly in the book as well, by David Grand. The Lost City of Z stars Charlie Hunnam, and this is based on a true story, as he stars as British explorer Percy Fawcett, who, when he goes on a survey mission down to South America, stumbles upon some artifacts and other pieces that state, hey, we shouldn't be down here, making maps and surveying and shit. We might actually be on to the findings of an ancient civilization, which leads him to go back time and time again, to try to prove all of his doubters wrong, to try to find the lost city of Z. Charlie Hunnam. Robert Pattinson's back up in this one too, changing styles again. The boy has got it. Probably one of the best actors of this past decade. You can fucking quote me on that shit. We also got Sienna Miller, we got Tom Holland, Angus McFadden, Ian McDiarmid, and one more. And a special appearance by Franco Nero. Django. First time viewing. This joint right here says that it is one of 2017's best movies. I would have to wholeheartedly agree with this assessment, ladies and gents. Breathtaking, 110% all the way, is The Lost City of Z. I have not read the novel myself. Now, someone did post on my Instagram that they thought that this was a terrible rendition of the novel. So this one, I want to be the conversation starter. If you've read the novel, saw the movie, I want to know, what did you maybe not like about the movie that the novel did a better job of? Or what did you like about the movie? One thing I do want to add about this, and since a lot of people haven't heard about this one either, looks like we have another hidden gem on our hands here. This movie has a running time of 140 minutes. That is 2 hours and 20 minutes. One of my defining factors in rating a movie, as most of y'all know, is how long the movie is versus how long it feels. This does not feel like an almost 2.5 hour movie. It felt more like just a little bit over an hour and a half, maybe about an hour and 45 minutes. I loved every single minute of this movie. Adventurous as hell, and I think you will too. This is an Amazon Studios movie, which means it's more than likely free for Amazon Prime viewers. But I just told y'all right here, right now, where to find The Lost City of Z. Check it out. I don't personally think you'll be disappointed, but like I said, there are some people out there who think otherwise. So once you viewed this, Regardless if you've read the novel or not, your boy wants to know what you thought about the Lost City of Z. So once you take a look at Lost City of Z, come back here to the YouTube page. We're reviewing episode 78 right now. Let's start a conversation, y'all. Check out the Lost City of Z. Let me rewind things for a second real quick back to It Comes at Night. Same as Good Time. I've picked up on some more director trademarks, so to speak, with this film. I noticed that Trey Edward Schultz, two things. He makes quite magnificent use of his in-car driving shots, the way that he does it. I noticed that here, as well as in Waves, as well as his use of multiple aspect ratios throughout the movie. Aspect ratio, for some of y'all who may not be, quite privy to the technical terms as it comes to, cinematography and shit, aspect ratio, that determines the wideness of your screen here. Remember back in the day when we had, the square TV sets, everybody complained that when a movie came on, the black bars at the top and bottom of the screen, they would get in the way, and people didn't like that. Well, guess what the fuck you're viewing now, ladies and gents? 20, 30 years later, you're viewing things in widescreen. So, what determines those black bars at the top and bottom of the screen, aka the wideness, is what's called the aspect ratio. And what Trey Edward Schultz did with both It Comes at Night and Waves is that he made use of the aspect ratio so at certain points throughout the movie, you actually see the movie get wider and wider, as if it's closing in on itself, making it perhaps more, giving you, trying to relay more of a sense of claustrophobia, or maybe even dream states. Not giving anything away there, but just stating what you may have noticed if you've seen Waves and or if you've seen It Comes at Night. So that, my friends, is a wrap for episode 78 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. It is usually at this time that I would have told y'all about this weekend's Bandit show, since it was the third Friday of the month. But unfortunately, due once again to the current conditions, sadly, Stagecoach Theater Company is one of the things that has fallen victim to this. We are closed indefinitely until further notice. But my heart is still with y'all, with my fucking bandits. I'm proud of y'all. I love y'all. And to everybody who's been supporting the Stagecoach Theater Company thus far, thank you so much. And please continue to do so during this time. So, with that being canceled, at this time I would have normally let y'all know how the show went and about next month's show. But with it being canceled, let me let y'all know that there is some info here. And I'm reading this straight from Stagecoach Theater's Facebook page. And I want to let y'all know that if you have purchased tickets for either the Stagecoach Bandits improv show, which was what would have happened last night, or the Hamilton murders at our theater up in Ashburn, it looks like they'll be contacting you in regards to your options. You can either you can credit your tickets to another performance later on in the year, Optimism, because we'll be back later on this year. You can you can donate your tickets to the Stagecoach Foundation, and a tax-deductible receipt will be issued to you. Awesome. Or you can you can receive a full refund. So for more info on this and other events and other information regarding Stagecoach Theater Company at this time, please visit our website. Once again, that is stagecoachtc.com. Once again, that is Stagecoach, T as in Tom, C as in coach.com. Please check our website for more info. And once again, thank you so very, very much for your continued support during these hard times, as Dusty Rhodes put it. And it would normally be at this time where I would be like, coming up on episode 79, we're going to have for you this, and this. But I don't fucking know what's going to be on next week's episode, or episode 80, or episode 81, episode 82, what have you. We just going to roll with it. We going to roll with it, baby. Oh, we going to roll with it, baby.
Yes, sir. So, just stay tuned to The Real Rush. I'll be just as surprised as y'all when we drop next week's episode. I'll be just as surprised as y'all when I fucking, come up with what I'm going to put on next week's episode. So be sure to stay tuned. But in the meantime, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, any shit like that, please feel free to type those on into the YouTube page where you are viewing this week's episode right here, right now. To everybody who has subscribed to The Real Rush on YouTube thus far, thank you wholeheartedly for having done so. Thank you for your continued support during these rough, hard times. Thank you for reaching out to a brother to see what the future state of The Real Rush was going to be since all movie theaters were closed. You knew your boy was going to find a way to keep this motherfucker rolling, though. And to everybody who has yet to subscribe to The Real Rush here on YouTube, ain't no better time than the present, because if you already run through your Netflix queue and everything, you're going to need things to watch. And you want to be the first to know when your boy drops a new episode. We may not be talking about all brand new movies during this time on The Real Rush, but your boy still got you covered. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and that way you can be subscribed and hear about some shit that you didn't know about. Because I want to know how many motherfucking people heard about Good Time, Brigsby Bear, It Comes at Night, and or Lost City Z before this episode. 9 times out of 10, if I bring these up in person, and then the person will say, I'll add that to my list of shit to watch, and then you see them a year or two later, and then they still haven't watched the shit. They went to go watch some garbage reality show or what have you. Well, now's the time for it. So, subscribe to The Real Rush, keep it rolling, and I'm going to keep y'all informed. I'm going to keep y'all informed on what's going to be entertaining during these rough times, y'all. And as always, keep spreading the word of The Real Rush like everybody should be spreading love these days. I know that's a little bit harder than normal. Normally right here is where I would say hug a motherfucker and tell them about The Real Rush. But I see that people are staying in touch in other ways, getting your drink on, getting your smoke on, and having virtual happy hours, having virtual board game playing and what have you, starting some shit. Well, every once in a while I just throw in the, hey, I watched this movie last night and well, how'd you hear about it? The Real Rush told me about it. So keep spreading the word of The Real Rush, ladies and gents, and your boy appreciates you doing so. And The Real Rush does have replay value. Now I can actually get to say, and it'll keep getting stronger and stronger as the weeks roll on, any movie that you want to take a look at and you want to know what your boy thought about it and get a good honest to God review of it, all you gotta do is go up to the top of this YouTube page right here, type in the YouTube search bar in quotation marks The Real Rush, followed by outside of quotation marks the title of the movie that you're looking for, then boom, instant movie review on demand for you, because your boy J-Dub and The Real Rush got y'all covered for life, son. And as always, you can follow your boy on Instagram for my live movie check-ins and for updates as they occur. Because your boy's going to be staying on top of when movie theaters and shit like that are going to be start opening back up again. Not to mention that all those new releases that may not make it to the theater, it looks like they're going to be getting home streamed instead. So we're not at a complete loss for 2020's new releases. So we're going to be staying on top of that shit as well. So follow your boy on Instagram for my up to the motherfucking minute updates as they occur. And you can follow your boy at JDub Champion, hashtag The Real Rush. And for The Real Rush, ladies and gents, I am your boy J-Dub. Thank you for joining us once again for episode 78 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. And once again, during these times, y'all, don't panic. Keep a level head. Just chill out, y'all. Just relax, relate, release. Take some time. Spend it with your loved ones. Watch a movie or two with them. Make the best of this time, y'all. And most importantly, make sure you're staying safe. Make sure you're staying safe. Make sure you're staying healthy out there. Make sure you're following all the regulations and shit. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Don't touch your ass. And when you go to do that, if you go to do that, wash your hands. Wash your hands.
Bang your head, bang your head. Anywho, as always, enjoy yourselves, ladies and gents. Have fun, y'all. Love J-Dub. And we'll see you next weekend. Peace